Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, it's Kenny.
Yes.
You've been speaking about the hands, how we develop them, and they can be healing instruments. And I'm just wondering if I'm not a a practitioner of some sort, how would that come in useful for me?
Wouldn't. It wouldn't. I mean, look, you're developing a chakra system that's strong enough to be able to channel energy from the heart to the hands and from the cosmos through the chakras at the center of the palm, through the arms into the heart center. That takes training. That takes practice. That's not, something you can do sitting in front of a television set. It really takes practice. It takes time. You have to build that kind of system. And you have to be some kind of practitioner of spiritual practice in order to develop that. A lot of people claim they do healing. And sometimes I look at them and all they're doing is, it's like vacuum cleaners taking the poison out of other people. And often it just kills the healer. It really does damage to the healer. This is a different thing. This is building a system inside that allows you to develop the hands. The hands are healing instruments. And I don't know how somebody who doesn't practice some kind of deep spiritual work, unless they're just somehow they take from past lifetime, that gift comes with them and they use it. But, other than that, how do you do it? You've got to have incredible inner strength if you're dealing with people that are ill. So you've got to be a practitioner. You've got to be somebody who truly is working on themselves. Not just what I do or what's done here, but something strong that builds a very deep and profound inner life for a human being. And then the byproduct of that is, you know, suddenly you don't have your own hands anymore. And the hands can be used for healing purposes. So I don't know how a person who is not has a really strong development in spiritual practice can do this. I mean, even people that do Reiki and massage and stuff like that, they have to be very careful that they're grounded inside. Because when you do that kind of work with other people, you take their poison out of them. And if you're not really grounded inside, it can eat you alive. I mean, I've told you the story. When I first did healing with anybody, I was in Rudy's gallery and there was a woman in the back room who had a very serious cancer. And Rudy asked me to go back and work with her. So I went back there and I started doing the double breathing technique in myself. I just put my fingers on her forehead, and so much poison came out of her into my system that I just literally fainted at her feet. And boy, did I learn how important it is to, first of all, build a system that's strong enough to deal with that. And secondly, how to drop that negative energy as soon as it comes into me. When you build a system that can deal with that, then you can transform maybe 80, 70% of it into Shakti. And you can burn it up through the use of the Kundalini energy. But without that kind of system, it just floods your system. I mean, I was a young meditation student. Rudy came back. He started smacking me and, made me run around the block 3 times. And then he told me, you can't try to absorb that energy. You have to just drop it as soon as it comes into you, unless you have the capacity inside to transform it into Kundalini energy. So this takes training, it takes time, it's an outgrowth of really a deep and long-standing spiritual practice that makes these things possible to do. It makes mudra possible. It makes a lot of stuff possible, but you've got to have the training. So don't go around putting your fingers on people's forehead and trying to cure them of cancer. You might get very sick. I really mean that, You know, build an inner life, get strong, and then it will be an outgrowth of that inner life that enables you to do what I'm talking about. And hopefully, one can help many people.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, so concerning what you just said, putting your finger on her forehead and it caused you to sort of pass out from the toxicity of her energy. So when you say that you have a system inside that's strengthened, maybe that wouldn't have happened. And so would that be in alignment with having a strong aura? Would you explain it as that, or is that something different
No,
completely?
it's chi, it's power that's at the core of your being that gives you the strength to be able to transform the negativity
Oh.
into energy that will move through the sexual area to the base of the spine, and Kundalini will just burn up the negativity. But you need that core power, that chi, that energy in the third chakra, which is rootedness, foundation, in order to do what I'm talking about. That will enable you to draw the energy from that, ill person into the chakra system, down into the chakra below the navel, where it becomes chi. It's no longer positive or negative. It becomes chi, it becomes power, strength. Then you can draw it through the sex to the base of the spine, and all of the negativity will just get burnt up. But you need that. It's not has to do with auras. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the basic strength that's built at the core of one's being that enables one to do what I'm talking about. The same strength that can keep your heart open, that gets your mind quiet, that enables you to use sexual energy to activate Kundalini. It's the same exact strength that's found in the meditation technique that Rudy has passed on to us. the same technique that enables us to live here on a much higher level, to become literally human beings. We can keep our hearts open. We can love unconditionally. We have the strength inside ourselves to do that. The mind is quiet, not this chatterbox or birdcage full of canaries that never stops yakking. You know, we have the ability to transform all of the internal stuff that is killing us into life-giving energy. We have that kind of strength inside. And that is built as a person does this meditation, or as they do any form of spiritual, it should build that inside them. It's not about worshiping gurus. It's not about how many times you kiss their feet and bow and pranam to them. It's about getting Shakti, getting the energy to truly build the kind of inner life that I'm talking about. And that's what teachers are supposed to provide, that level of support. Because, you know, frankly, almost everything in life works against this. You look at the objective world and what goes on in the objective world, and, you know, it's all constant battle of positive versus negative, good versus evil, right versus wrong. And even the people that are wrong think they're right. And the people that are right doubt about their own. I mean, it's crazy, you know? So we need to be strong enough to be able to deal with all that stuff without it sucking us dry and destroying us as people. And that creates a human being, and it creates the power to allow the hands to evolve and develop and to be used for a real purpose, which is to heal. The hands are like tantric instruments. Does anyone else have a question? Is that clear? I hope that's clear. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Singh.
Yes, Bob?
If I was looking for somebody to do massage or do some sort of work on me, how do I assess if they really are qualified in the ways that you are speaking of?
Well, are they in their heads? Are their hearts open when they're massaging you? You know, I mean, you remember Pingo, she used to be a very good masseuse, and it was love that came out of her. It was extraordinary what used to come out of her. And it always kind of healed you up when you got a massage from her. I've had people massage me that I feel nothing. I mean, Jennifer massages me. It's like a miracle what she does. I'm talking a miracle. Her capacity and sensitivity and spiritual development that goes into every time she gives me a massage. That's what I look for, Bob. And people, I don't let anybody, I mean, I have an acupuncturist. I've had him for 40 years now. And the guy's amazing. He's amazing, you know? It works. So I look for that quality in people, not that they have a sign hanging out, massage, you know, that their hearts are open. That they have that kind of intuitive strength and sensitivity when they work on you. And I don't know how else to tell you. You know, I've had maybe, I don't know, 500 people massage me in my life. And that's the first thing I look for. Do they have that capacity? And you can feel it, when they're finished, you know, as your body, your system, your mind, you're gone to a different level because they have done this work on you. And what was incredible, like, Jennifer's never had a day of training in her life, and she's just so sensitive when she does this. It's like amazing. Bingo, didn't even have a license, nothing. She just did it underground. But man, I used to go there every week, a massage from her. It was unbelievable. You know, God bless her. She passed on just recently, but
Thank you, Stuart. That was good.
you're welcome. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Stuart, I have a question. It's Irene.
Yes,
So if this practice, if you're building your system and you can attract better things toward you, what is it saying if I feel like I'm attracting things that aren't good yet I'm feel like I'm growing? For example, I had a not very good experience just this past week where someone just decided to not pay me for work I've done. And I have never experienced this before. And I lived in New York, I freelanced for many people. And here I am living outside in a suburb in New England, and I experienced this. I'm just like floored that this even happened, I guess.
look, it's happened to me. What are you going to do? Well, you can sue the person. What are you going to do? It happens. Stuff like that happens. You can't blame it on your spiritual practice and your life. Life happens. You're dealing with so many kinds of people, and people do very stupid and kind of evil things. And it happens to me. Yeah, people, I could tell you stories that happened to me with people that are. And all I do is learn from them. I don't let them suck my energy out of me. I don't get upset because people, I'll tell you a story, okay? I told this before. I got a phone call. This is a true story. 10 minutes before I was to teach a meditation class, telling me that I just lost a shipment of art that could have sold for about $1.5 million. That was stolen from me. It's true. This is 10 minutes before a meditation class. Boy, did I have to surrender in that meditation. It made me grow more than anything I could even imagine up into that period, just to get free of it and not allow it to interfere with my connection to God. And I'm talking, I had one statue sold for $500,000, and this stuff was stolen from me. This story, huh? And then 5 minutes later, I had to go teach a meditation class. I mean, I grew. I really worked so deep in myself, and I grew so much because I wouldn't allow that thing to get the better of me. or interfere with my connection to God. Made me grow. Don't let it get between you and your spiritual life. These things happen all the time, you know? Use it to grow instead of, oh my God, I lost all that money and and before you know it, your whole life gets drained out of you. You know? A true story. I would have been rich. Now I'm not so rich. Rich in spirit and love and gratitude to my teachers, but money, it comes.
Thank you, Stuart.
Christine, can you stop moving, please? It really is disrupting the class. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, great question, Irene. It helps you and it helps me.
Thanks, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then thank you, all of you, and thank you. God bless you all. It's wonderful sitting here doing this, being with all of you, and growing because of the questions and the class, the energy. So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you for being here. So God bless you. There will be a meditation on Sunday. And just fine, I'm having a retreat in June. If you want to come, please sign up. I don't have to check with Jennifer the dates. I don't even know the dates, but it's sometime in June.
It's all on the website, including your
So
birthday,
it's all on the website.
including a birthday retreat.
And then I'm having a birthday retreat on my birthday, actually, on the 10th, which is a Saturday. So that's in August. So, if you want to come, I recommend it. Okay, it's really very powerful. Okay, God bless you all. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Mm.